Hello. I exist, and I exist in a different space today. Because, it is like 8 billion degrees in the place I normally stream. Because that's upstairs, and it's very toasty. And I don't feel like dying, you know? Um, so yeah, that's fun. Apologies for the no stream yesterday, but weather is fun and we love it when we get tornado warnings. Um so yeah, that's a great time. It is unfortunate, but it is what happens. So now there's like a 26-second video on my Twitch channel. Hello, Four Piece. How's it going? We having a good time? I'm gonna pull up Fire Alpaca and get all of that going. How, by the way, how is music levels? Is that good? Is it too low? Is it too high? A little low, a little low. Okay, let me... I'm gonna... How's that? We good? I have my phone with my Twitch stream going so I can actually read what's going on in the chat, you know? Sounds good? Alright. Now we get to suffer because my pen is doing the thing where it decides it doesn't want to work properly. Stop it. Fool. But yeah, so today my goal is to hopefully finish this little thing. This is Hero. Probably my favorite of my characters, and this has been just a work in progress for far too long, so I'm hoping that I'm actually gonna be able to get it done today in the 2 hours that we have. He is a lad. I do appreciate him. I need a better place for this to go. But I don't know if there is one because I'm plugged in. But I, want to be able to see. You have Cheerios? That makes me feel happy. I like Cheerios. I like Cheerios a lot. I don't eat Cheerios as much as I should, you know? I think I need to go eat more Cheerios. I think people who think breakfast for dinner is bad are bad themselves. Because I personally don't think you can go wrong with eating breakfast foods for dinner. I think it's the perfect way to go. You ever had them with banana slices in them? I have not. That might be something I have to try. I've never considered that. Grandparents used to always do it? Oh. Dude, I'm learning lore. Lore about cat? Is my correction on? It is. It is on. This is so sad. I just can't draw a good line. We're into my least favorite part of the whole process, which is the line art. I hate line art. But yeah. It's really little. I thought this is like an extremely commonplace thing. You know what? There are things that like do that to me as well. Like just things that I was raised on that you just, you go out into the world and then you tell someone about it and they're like, no, that's not normal, and then you're just like, wait, what? Huh? Yeah. That has happened to me. Line art is painful. It's me no likey. I need like I'm so bad because like I line like I'm sketching, which is not what I want to do. I use like 7 billion different lines, which is not a good thing. I need to not do that. But yeah, there's about a 26-second, I believe, video now on my Twitch channel, which is me starting yesterday's stream. I hit the start stream button on the starting soon screen, and then we got the emergency alert. Yeah, anybody who's like, yeah, my favorite part is line art is either God or could kill God. And, yeah, that's just how it is. I don't make the rules. Yeah, you watched the 26-second video. Yeah, because immediately after I started, we got the emergency weather alert, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're not doing this. So, that's fun. We love that. Okay, so let's. Oh god, his leg looks wonky. I gotta fix that. Also, he has a whole other leg here that I just didn't draw. Whoosh. Mayhaps that will be salvageable. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about this lad. This lad, his name is Hero. He's probably my favorite of my characters, but that might just be because I feel like I have the most worked out about him. So maybe it's just that sort of bias coming in. But I think I'm the happiest with his design overall of all my characters. I think it just turned out really, really good. He is, he's a programmer. More specifically, I just heard a follow noise. Oh! It's Lemon Gaming! Hello! Thank you for the follow. Welcome to this. This is what I do. Citrus Man. Yeah. Hero is, like I said, he's a programmer. He's more of actually a hacker. Self-employed. And operates under the name Rabbit, hence this over here on his laptop. And my plan with this CG is, because he's kind of our main character's like best friend and the person she goes to with all her problems. And so I'm planning on this being a CG where she like just comes into the room and he's like, just yeah, come on in. And he's just sitting there, you know, on the floor because he doesn't know how to sit in a chair. Working on his nonsense. So now I get to do the hard part of lining this laptop computer because I have no idea what a laptop looks like. Despite the fact that I'm using one right now, currently, to stream. It's fine. I wish the stream actually loaded. Oh dear. This is so sad. My condolences. I realize you will not hear my condolences because the stream isn't loading, which I think is kind of funny. Yeah, we're having a great time here when streams don't load. This is... I like how I'm like looking at my own laptop to figure out if I sketched this properly. There's like a joint piece there. But I mean, like, using my laptop as a reference is a good way to do it. Oopsie. And that corner is blocked out by his excellent leg. So, I don't think I've discussed much of, like, the story itself for what this dating sim is on, stream. So, I know I've discussed it with, I know, like, Kat, you know a lot about this stuff because you're on Discord with me when I rant about it for 8 billion years. But if anybody is watching who, you know, doesn't know me personally or just doesn't know the story, I can discuss that here. And I am going to, because it's fun for me to talk about. And it also, just like speaking about it helps me like bounce ideas off of myself, which is weird, but it works. This is, I have to, hang on. The angle of that line was not working. So rotation it is. Anyway, yeah, storyline. So I'm gonna avoid spoilers as much as possible, because obviously I know some people probably don't want me to talk about spoilers of my own game here in chat. But basically, you play as a girl. She is, about college age, I think is what I decided on. And she lives in this future society. There's magic involved, and it's basically I would consider it post-apocalyptic. So it's like things are, you know, rebuilt, or at least starting to rebuild, and the whole thing takes place within this completely walled-in city. I'm not sure exactly where in the world I wanted it to be put, like, just geographically, or even if it would be, like, on Earth at all. Obviously, because there's magic involved, I don't have to limit myself to Earth, but I think I'm going to. So, my brain kinda went to Chicago initially. So, like, what used to be Chicago? Because it would make sense with having, like, a cityscape there then. And anyway, the main character, she starts to, like, get these... They're almost like dreams. Basically what happens is she's, like, viewing memories that look like they're hers because they look like they're from her perspective, but she doesn't remember them happening in the first place. So obviously that's a bit of an odd thing, an odd occurrence. And so she's like, huh, this doesn't seem right. So she starts to look into things, and I haven't worked out exactly how all of this stuff is gonna play out, but eventually she starts to come to the conclusion that somehow the government, which is, as of right now, simply called the Capitol, that's really just a placeholder name until I actually come up with a name I like better. Hello, Rinky Rink, how are you doing? It's me, it's Sam, yes, that's me. Yeah. So she eventually figures out that, like, the government is somehow involved here. They're doing something that is messing with people's brains a little bit. And so she starts to do some research, and so she creates this persona of or at an after party for the grad party. I see. Are you guys just watching my stream there? Watching me draw and talk about a dating sim? You know what? It's fine. Have fun. That is not an even remotely straight line. So she creates this persona of and she calls it the White Crow. And she uses this identity to do her investigation of, you know, the strange happenings of this world. The after party is your stream. Oh, Nikki's watching too? Hi, Nikki. Hello. Welcome to what I stream. I do art. Sometimes. Art on Sundays, usually. Sometimes it'll be games on Sunday. It depends. So yeah. Basically, the game will follow our protagonist and her investigations about, you know, what's going on and uncovering the secrets of all the stuff that's happening. And essentially, in the long run, beginning a revolution. And most of the choices you make will be the ones that directly impact how your revolution goes. And over the course of the game, you'll build relationships with the characters. For example, Hero, who, you know, he's a great lad and is a good person to have on your side, I'm just saying. I've designed Hero's route, and there's one other character, Akira. Their routes kind of go hand in hand a little bit. There's a lot of overlapping information and stuff between the two of them. You gotta go, alright, have fun at your after party as well. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you could join us. It's like a whole separate piece. It's an entirely separate piece. Laptops are hard to draw, man. I don't understand them. But yeah, so like I was saying, Akira and Hero's routes are meant to kind of go hand in hand. They cover similar topics, and they're both meant to be a good starting point. So, yeah, that they are definitely where I personally, once the game like does become a thing that actually genuinely exists, the two of them are gonna be where I recommend to start, because it's just, I think it makes the most sense with things. Yeah. Hero's route and Akira's in turn are both gonna talk about a program called Satyr. Satyr is essentially meant to be something like a digital assistant, something like Siri or Google Home, stuff like that. And now you notice I said meant to be. There's a little more going on. I actually decided to not start there just because I said that's where you should start. You will be starting somewhere completely different. You'll actually start with the route you only unlock after getting all the other characters' good endings. I'd like to see that happen. There is stuff on my laptop screen and I don't appreciate it. Start with the title screen fiasco. Oh dear. Oh dear. Unfortunately for you, it is not possible to begin with the title screen fiasco. The title screen fiasco is a result of making a series of very, very poor decisions over the course of every time you play the game. It won't stop you. You'll find a way. You'll just break into like the game assets and stuff and find a way to just begin their rotation. That is not even remotely straight. I am really struggling right now. Got it. Oh my gosh, I got it. They will never get better than that. So we're accepting it. Oh my gosh. Remove. Get the bot out. Maybe. Banned. Yeah, it's mod time. Banned. Yeah, I banned them. Sorry. I The sword means everything. You did part of the job. You deleted the message. I swung the ban hammer though. The ban hammer is my favorite part. Yeah. I was speaking about Satyr, correct? I think so. Eventually I'll be able to draw this line properly. That's good enough. Yes, I was talking about Satyr. Alright, excellent. Like I said, Satyr's meant to be like a Google Assistant, and operative term there is meant to be. Obviously, like I said, there's a bit more that's going on there as you come to find out. The way it works is this is like early game stuff that you find out, so I'm like not really afraid to talk about this. Satyr is in actuality a surveillance program put in place by the government. We love the government. We don't actually love the government in this game. It's not fun. And they're using it to keep tabs on all the citizens. Which is, you know, kind of a little bit of a breach of privacy. And most people, I don't think, would appreciate being watched at every waking moment, you know? I don't know about you guys, but I sure wouldn't. So, Hero happens to know a lot about Satyr and how it works, because apparently this is what I have worked out for him, is that he's the kind of person that, like, gets bored and just takes things apart and puts them back together. So that's essentially what he did with Satyr. The government breaching privacy since the 1960s. Yeah! You love to see it. But yeah, that's essentially what Hero did with Satyr. He got bored, so he took it apart and put it back together. Obviously not real government Satyr, but like essentially he found a way to break into it without them knowing about it because he's good like that. And he's also a silly little lad who doesn't know how to sit in chairs, as I said. Yeah, because he sits on the floor. Great. How are we looking? We're looking pretty good. I'm being added on Discord right now. They know I'm streaming. They know I am. I think they're trying to get me to play Minecraft. I think that's what is happening, but I do not know. I am not aware. He do the crime? Yeah, he does do the crime by breaking into the government. It's fine. Yeah, I like to talk about Seder because, one, it's like the thing that I feel like I have the most worked out with, again, because it ties into Hero's route, and like I said, he's the character I know the most about. So, another fun little thing about Seder is, you know, when I think Seder, the first thing that comes to mind is Pan, the Greek god of the wild. And if we remember, Pan wanders off into the woods one day and is never seen again. So basically, that's what's gonna happen to you if Seder sees you doing something that it doesn't like. You are going to, quite literally wander off into the woods and never be seen again. You love to see it. So obviously, there's a lot of risk involved here. And there's lots of cameras everywhere, which is why it's helpful to have someone like Hero get in your back, you know, so you don't get found out immediately. 'Cause that would be bad. Him and Akira, who I mentioned earlier, I think are going to have a super funny dynamic because they're practically polar opposites in everything they do. Hero is very much a go-with-the-flow kind of guy. He's very much like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it. We're all good. No problems here. And does risky business be fun, though? This is true. This is true. Risky business do be kind of fun, though. So yeah, he's got a very laid-back personality. Does everything kind of just, like, when he feels like it. Except for, like, when it really matters, obviously. But, Akira is the exact opposite. He's like, we are making a schedule, and we are sticking to it, and if anyone deviates from this schedule, so help me God, I might smite you. So yeah, it's a bit of a time with the two of them. Akira's also the resident asshole of the bunch. So, all my mean man lovers out there, I think will enjoy Akira's presence. Personally, I think Hero fits into my tropes of all my favorite characters ever because he's a goon. He's a goon. That is how I describe him. That is how I will always describe him because it is the most accurate description for his personality. Excellent. We're done with like the line art for himself, I think, except this is Hello, air conditioning. It just kicked on and it made a very loud noise. Yeah, I know a few people who I think would very much enjoy um resident asshole characters. I myself also enjoy resident asshole characters. But, you know, in case my ranting during the Danganronpa streams didn't give it away, I find myself liking the idiots, the goons. Yasuhiro Hagakure is my favorite character in the first game because he's so dumb and it is so very funny. My line art was really messy in here. Time to fix all of this. And then hopefully we can get on to the coloring, and I'm just gonna worry about like him and the laptop for now. I'm not gonna do the doofuses, if you will. Yes, I will. I will. Love me a good doofus, you know? I think everyone needs to have a doofus in their life, you know? Pure of heart, dumb of ass. Yeah. Precisely. Exactly. You understand perfectly. It's exactly what it is. Alright. Yeah. Like I said, for now, I'm ignoring the floor, but I do need to line the mouse. The mouse is important. And you guys will now get to see you have several doofuses in your life. Am I one of them? I feel like I'd be one of them. I'm kind of a doofus myself. I do have to line this mouse, and then you guys can see my bonkers coloring. It's interesting. That's what I'll tell you. And yeah, my bonkers coloring. It's a true statement. That's what it is. It's bonkers. But yeah, if you guys have any questions at all about any of my characters, about any of like the plot elements, anything I can like just talk about, I will. Obviously, if it contains spoilers, I'll attempt to avoid it. Yeah, just let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, feel free to ask questions in the comments. I am more than happy to address them. Alright. He out here with the wireless mouse. Meaning if he has a wireless mouse, he needs to have... Someone mentioned my favorite Batman villain, Bonk. No. No. Not quite. Wireless mouse means he needs the wireless connector thingy. In the USB port. How much of the story have you figured out already? I have figured out a lot of the main plot points. Obviously the stuff that's super important, I have most of that down. There's a few pieces of like, just like I said, with how exactly this whole revolution comes to be in the first place that I don't quite know yet. But for the most part, I've got the main elements of the story figured out. Now, it's just a matter of figuring out, like, how in-depth with each problem each route is going to go, because like there's a bunch of different pieces at work here, lots of different aspects to things that, you know, are gonna have to be covered in different depths in different routes. So it's gonna be a whole puzzle. But yeah, like I said, I think most of the big stuff is out of the way, so now it's mostly just individual route planning. How many characters are there that have an actual route you can play through? There are 9. There are 9 of them. And essentially the way I have it divided up is there's like 3 in each area of the world, because now it's gonna be weird because I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna contradict what I just said. The space that we're in, this walled-in city, is divided into 4 different places. Now, the first of which is the capital, so that is ruled out. There's nobody that you're gonna find physically in the capital that has a route. Just outside of the capital, it's set up like in a ring, so there's, in the very center of this whole city is the capital. Just outside of that is Lionheart Circle, which is like, you know, high class, very much up there on the social ladder. There's a whole social system that I will explain momentarily. I'll get to that. That determines like where exactly you live and like what class you are. Outside of Lionheart Circle is Feather Ridge, which is where the main character lives. And that one's divided up into separate districts, which again I will talk about later. And then outside of Feather Ridge is the low class area, which is called Tiger's Lot. And in each of those, the 3 outer places, so Lionheart Circle, Feather Ridge, and Tiger's Lot, there are 3 characters that you will encounter. So basically the way it will work is wherever you decide as the player where you want to search for help for your whole revolution, that will determine which 3 characters you can get on route-wise. Obviously, things will get a little funky because the 8th and 9th characters have a lot of stuff that you have to do prior to being able to unlock their route. The 9th one, obviously, that's the one I mentioned where you have to have completed every other character's route, gotten a good ending on all of them, in order to unlock his route. So it's going to be interesting because, like I said, his is the route that brings everything to a close, that wraps it all up in a nice little bow and answers all the questions that have yet to be answered in other characters' routes. So obviously, it would be weird to be able to start with him right off the bat. So yeah, Hero is one of the characters that you can meet if you decide to look for help in Feather Ridge, because obviously, you know, you grow up in the same area, you're best friends, and so you know where to find him. So yeah, he's fun. Feather Ridge, like I said, is divided up into separate districts. There are 5 of them. There's essentially like, there's one that's a residential area, which is where most people who live in Feather Ridge live. There's a shopping district. There's an entertainment district. There's a school district, essentially. So that has a lot of your like schooling and, you know, universities and stuff. And there's one more that I don't remember what exactly I considered it, but it's essentially where a lot of like the office buildings and stuff. So it's like a business district, I think is what I would consider it. And they're all named after birds. Like, for example, the Cardinal District is where all the residential spaces are. That's your residential district. So yeah, it's fun. We have a good time. I liked world building was simultaneously one of my favorite parts of this whole project and one of my least favorite parts because there's just so many pieces I have to consider and like which is both fun and not fun at the same time. Yeah, world building, it's hard, but it's fun. It's like, it's difficult, but when you actually figure something out, it feels super rewarding. So, yes, I enjoy it. I'm going to begin my coloring now. So, get ready, folks, because this is gonna be a trip. Blue! Alright. So, yeah, my bonkers coloring time. Hang on. Give me a moment. My pen decided it didn't want to function again. And so I was like, too bad. Do it anyway. So, I should really open up an actual, like, that's old art that is not accurate anymore. Open. I have one that has, like, all of his colors on it and stuff. So, I can open this one. This has his full color scheme, so you can kind of see where this will eventually lead. But this just helps me get his actual, like, colors and stuff. So I don't, you know, mess it up. Blue dabba-dee-dabba-die. Yeah. That's, That's us right now. Let's talk social class and how that functions and how it makes things interesting. Each person, each character in the game and in this society has a number, and it is on a scale of 1 to 1,000. Obviously, two people can have the same number because, yeah, it's just a scale, really. And what it is essentially a comparison. It's almost like a test score. Get a load of this society. Yeah, I said the funny society word, you guys. It functions almost like a test score, and the way that it's presented to the people is it's like, yeah, this is an indication of how fit you are next to lead, and the closer you are to the number 1, the better it is. So like, if your number is 1, then you are like essentially next in line to lead, if you know it's possible. Obviously there are some other things that could happen. You know, you could die, and then obviously it would go to the next highest number if there isn't another number 1. That sort of thing. In reality, it's not exactly true, the whole thing they tell you. But I won't tell you what is going on, because that's a trade secret. Something you'll have to find out for yourself. I just goofed it. I erased more than I wanted to. Rude. Yeah. So yeah, the way it's divided up is it's on a scale of 1 to 1,000, and so there's a bit of an interesting thing going on there. and what your number is kind of determines where you end up living. The highest numbers, like 1 to... I'm going to actually exclude 1, because the number 1 is the only person other than the leaders themselves who actually does live within the capital. Bit of a special case, that one. So then from like 2 to about 200 is the Lionheart Circle. Then 201 to roughly 500 is Feather Ridge, and 501 to 1000 is Tiger Slot. So imagine being number 420 or number 69. Are there ever in-between numbers? Like, could someone be 55.5, or is it always going to be a whole number? I have it always being a whole number. I imagine if you get a score, like, in between 2, they'd probably round up. So, like, if you end up getting 55.5, they'd probably end up just saying, yeah, that's a 56. So, yeah. Number 666. Oh, wow. Is it bad that I could picture a character of mine that would fit having that number just in general? I think it would be funny. But, like, at the same time, he also wouldn't, because I already have it established that he lives in Feather Ridge. Kinda, sorta. Hee hee. I hint about other character things, but don't tell you about them. Haha. Mischievous. I don't know what Hero's number is yet. Does this game have a name yet, or is that still to be determined? It doesn't have a name yet. That is still a work in progress. I don't know exactly what I want to call it. Obviously there's a lot going on with stuff and things. I'm using very specific words here that I feel like could possibly be used as the title, but I don't know. I've had kind of circling in my brain titling it Zero, which is, it's plot relevant, you just don't know how. Because spoilers. But yeah, that's kind of been the strongest one, like the biggest one in my brain right now, is calling it Zero. Bruh. But yeah. It's kind of where I'm at currently. That's on the line art layer, isn't it? Goofin'. You guys, I'm goofin'. Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas and game confirmed. No. But, I will tell you that Zero was my favorite character. I don't know why I said was. It still is my favorite character in the Nightmare Before Christmas. I liked Zero a lot. So yeah, the numbers are a thing. And I actually, funnily enough, 2 of my characters, they exist on either extrema. I have one character who is number 1, and another who is number 1000. So we're in for some good times. And also the way the numbers work, so it's like so that you know for sure, like you can't, fraudulently do anything. They are tattooed somewhere on your body, essentially. Um, it's not exactly tattooing because it's magic related and they're just kind of magically put there. So they can't, that sort of like magical energy can't be recreated by someone who isn't a capital official unless somehow they miss something. Because, like I said, magic is a thing. And yes, anybody can have magic, but there's a sort of. It's interesting because obviously the capital has a bit of a hold on a lot of the magic because they don't want people using their magic to, like destroy the government or something. Because that would be bad for them. So this was a score. So when and how is it measured? What is it based on? Okay, so it's a score. You're essentially given one. I think I decided when you turn 3, you're essentially handed to the capital for them to assign you a number score. And it is based on your brain, how it functions, and different tests that can determine, how fit you are, how you might develop, and like how eventually fit you may become to be the next leader. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd thing they have going on there, but it is a thing they're doing nonetheless. Magic logistics are another thing I need to work out a little bit better. I know there's a few things that I still am unsure on magic-wise, like exactly how the magic system works, or certain characters I'm debating whether or not I want them to have magic in the first place, because obviously not everyone does. Hero is one of those characters that I'm unsure of, but because I feel like he kind of has this thing going where he doesn't really need magic, because obviously with his computer skills in general. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. They're sort of magic in and of itself. What happens if a child is put in a lower ring than their parents? Oh, that is an excellent question. This is true for both lower and higher. The child will be separated from their parents and given a parental figure who is fit, according to the capital, to raise that child in order to put them in the place where they feel they belong. So, if you end up in a rank that is lower than your parents, then you will be forcefully removed from them. Of course, you'll be like 3, so you probably won't even remember it happened. Is there much contact between rings? Not much at all. There's obviously ways to get from place to place, but it's way easier to travel to lower ranking locations than it is to get to the higher ones. Obviously, if you're from the capital, you can basically go anywhere you want with minimal restrictions. The biggest restriction, of course, being the giant wall that surrounds the outside of Tiger's Lot. Oh, good lord, the amount of prejudice that exists is great! Oh yeah, it's wild. Things are very much separated here. I am fixing that. It's a bit of a very pointy finger. It's a bit too pointy. Um, so yeah, we're we're into a lot of fun stuff. Fun things. Um, Obviously there are ways to travel higher up. Um, a lot of it comes from like social events and things. There will be I know there's going to be at least one ball of some kind that you can get into um, with a little bit of luck that is actually held within the capital itself. The system seems like it would be really ableist, and the government would probably place a lot of neurodivergent people in lower rings. You're seeing it. You're seeing it. You're seeing a lot of the stuff. The sort of social commentary nonsense that I kind of snuck in there. Obviously, there's a little more going on, but there's also a very good reason why people are put where they are. I mean, good according to the capital. Obviously, to you and me, it's not going to be very good. We're going to dislike what the capital is doing. But that's kind of the point of making villains, you know? You're not exactly meant to agree with these guys. Yeah, as you can see, my coloring style is a bit odd. A bit strange. I don't know why I do it this way, because, like, there is definitely an easier way to do it. I just don't. For some reason. Social commentary is fun, especially with what's going on in the gaming world right now. Yeah, social commentary is fun in, like, any circumstance, because I feel like there's always something somewhere that should definitely be talked about. Yeah. I think it's good for games in general, or just different pieces of media, to find some way to, like, talk about an issue, even if it's just a little. Obviously, there is a point where you can, like, go too far, where it's basically you're just shoving it down the audience's throat, which is never a good thing, because then everybody kind of starts to hate that. But, you know, I feel like games and media in general are a good place to kind of raise awareness for topics. I think we're almost done with the flat coloring of his skin. It's just this hand. And then I can move on to other things. By that, I think I'm gonna do his hat next. That's usually, I think, where I go next. The orange is a bright color, so it's good to get out of the way. Oopsie. Wow, my line art was really not with it whenever I did this. I just got a Discord message that just says, "It's July, dude." And I'm not sure what this is in response to, or if it is even in response to anything. But I mean, if it's not in response to anything, To that I say, yes, it is July. It has been July for 25 days. Ooh. Do physically disabled people often make it into the higher rings? How accessible do things tend to be? And would accessibility be better in higher rings to accommodate people with physical disabilities since the higher rings have more money? This is an interesting question that I haven't thought of much. I would imagine physical disability would not impact one's score too much. So, and from that, I think you could gather then that accessibility would be relatively open. I think it would be, obviously you'd get better stuff the higher up you go just because there's more money in those areas. And just like, you know, medical in general, you'll have better access to things the higher up you are, because it's essentially what the higher your number. And when I say the higher your number, know that I am talking the closer you are to like the number 1. So technically it's the lower, but it's, you know, the higher your ranking class. You know, the higher number you have, the easier it is to get those, the better medical benefits and things, and just medical care in general for any issue you may have. So I think in general, you may be more likely to see people with lots of physical injuries in the lower classes in a place like Tiger's Lot, but not because that's what put them there in the first place, simply because they don't have the access to the treatment for those medical injuries that, like, the people, say, in Lionheart Circle do. We're getting into a lot of good stuff here. These are fun questions. I like these questions. Alright. On top of that, let's go... What's something directly on top of the skin? Yeah, let's do orange. Let's do my orange stuff. There's not a ton of it here, so... Whoop! As I almost remove my navigator entirely, that would not be fun. One thing that I want to do is, like, because I find, you know, music helps me think about a lot of things, story related and otherwise. What I want to do is make, like, a playlist for each one of the characters in this game. Not sure about, like, side characters, but I'm definitely thinking all the dateable characters will get a playlist of their own, and that I can then play while I'm working on their story stuff, just to kind of get me in that zone that I need to be in for both writing, you know, their dialogue and just things relating to them, to really get a read on, you know, their personality and stuff. How did I... Hang on. I have line art things to fix. As per usual. So if you make the playlist public somewhere, I'm sure fans of the game would eat that up. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited, like, to see if, like, once this, you know, becomes a thing, more than it already is a thing, to see, like, how people react to it in general. Because obviously, you know, it's like every game designer's dream to have people love their game, for sure. And, you know, I think everything will have an audience of people who love and appreciate it. And so I think just seeing the things that those people who, you know, who enjoy this create from it, I think that will be one of the most fulfilling things for me, just in general. Theory crafting with those playlists would be crazy. Oh, I didn't even think of that. People doing like theories and stuff about the characters based on what music they listen to. Or like just the music that I associate with them. That'd be interesting. Seriously, can't wait to play it so I can yell at you while I play it. Yell at me for what? What are you gonna yell at me about? Just in general? Or are there specific details that you think you're gonna yell at me for? Get to a plot twist and you get like 50 notifications on Discord. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That will be what happens. I'm sure. So. Once again, we're back to my... I don't know why I color this way. I really don't. Anyone give you prog metal vibes? I can think of two characters that I think would definitely go along with prog metal vibes, and that's Apollo and Baxter. I think Apollo more than Baxter, though. I think Baxter would be more of a contemporary style. I think. That's where I'm going. Imagining more like excited, oh my god, dude, yelling than upset yelling. That's fair. That's fair. I just hit the wrong button, and that would have been very unfortunate. I have my shortcuts, like, memorized. And so the B key gives me my brush. Directly next to it is the V key, which, I'll show you what the V key does. That's what the V key does. And so, I have hit that on a number of occasions while attempting to do something with my art, and then I just move the whole thing, and I'm like, no, not what I wanted. I also, another thing that I was thinking about, I know I have a few people who, you know, friends of mine who have said, you know, they'll be willing to work on different aspects of this game with me, like music specifically, because I know a lot of my friends are into like music composition and stuff. So one thing that I wanted to do was to have each character's theme, almost like the song that plays most often when they are on screen, obviously when it's like relevant and stuff. Obviously if it's a really sad moment and you get like Hero's theme, which I'm imagining is a very synth heavy like tech banger of a song, probably not fitting. But you know, what I was thinking was to have each character's theme represent or like be carried by a different instrument. So like I just mentioned, Heroes would contain a lot of synth stuff, which is why I like listening to synthwave while I work on this game, because it makes me think about Hero, which is the character I think I'm closest to having a route like ready to actually like program for. I say program loosely because I it's not exactly going to be programming. It's going to be me using like visual novel engines and maybe RPG Maker. That's another thing that I have discussed very briefly with friends is a certain aspect of this game that I definitely want to have in place, but I don't know exactly how to like work out. Basically, I want to have there be an almost not exactly a mini game because obviously it's story relevant, but have there be some legitimate like gameplay mechanics of it, because that's one thing I think dating sims are often lacking, and a lot of the time it isn't to their detriment, but I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of people don't enjoy playing them is because there's not much like gameplay, because I mean it's all choice based. You're not running around fighting monsters and stuff. Some of them you are, I will say. Like, there's a couple of them that you do have like more RPG based elements in it. But one thing that I wanted to do with mine is to have it so later on down the line, I'm thinking when you like eventually break into the capital and you know, put your whole scheme in motion as things get down to near the end of the game, and you'll have a companion with you. Whoever's route you're on, that will be your companion, and it'll all take place on the same map, so I won't have to reuse, like, I won't have to recreate a whole separate map for each character's route. It'll all be within this one space, but there will be certain doors and things that only certain characters can get to, using a sort of almost special ability. So like Hero will have the ability to get through certain, like, almost remote activated doors by literally just plopping his butt on the ground to opening up his laptop and hacking into them to open them. I have another character who my plan is to, because there's gonna be like guards around that you kind of have to stealth your way around. Not with one of my characters. He just stabs them. I want all of the abilities to have funny names, so for his, I'm literally just planning on calling it, well, that's one way to do it. Yeah, exactly. With him, stealth is not a thing. Oh dear, that's not what I wanted. I should really just learn to make do with the bucket tool. I really should. I know there's ways to, like, make it so you don't get the gaps between, like, whatever you're filling in with the bucket tool and, like, what you fill in. That was a sentence that did not make sense. Like, the intro of that song sounded like the first song in Inside. Gosh, if I could play the music from Inside on stream, I would. Unfortunately, I think Mr. Copyright would murder me. That's not supposed to be there. What I was trying to say is, like, so when you use the bucket tool, there's, like, your line art, and there's the space in between, and when you use the bucket tool in it, there's this little gap between the line art and what's actually filled in. And I know there's a way to extend what your bucket tool is doing by a few pixels. For anyone, well, that can't be DMCA free. Yeah, no, it's for sure not. It is for sure not. Yeah, that's why I don't use the bucket tool, in case you're curious. It's that little gap drives me nuts. and I know there's a way to fix it. I never have the patience to like actually sit down and figure out how to do it. So instead I just do this. Which, yes, takes more time, but it's also like insanely satisfying. For me anyway. And I'm hoping it's satisfying for other people when I don't mess up horribly like I just did. That's a gap that I will have to fill in. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright. We're back in business. I do want to get that going though. I think... Oh, I know what I haven't talked about that might be interesting. That's, the outside of the walls, or rather the reason the walls there in the first place. I mentioned that this was kind of set in a post-apocalyptic thing. So basically, this city built up walls to protect them from some end-of-the-world type scenario, and I do need to work out some of the details on how exactly this end-of-the-world thing goes. But so they put up these walls so that they pretty much just don't get involved in it. They're like magic barriers, crud. I think. It's like a literal stone wall, actually. But, there are certain things that are, like, not allowed in. Mostly chemical-related things. And, you know, it's put up, and, you know, it's said, you know, this is going here to protect you people. And originally it is. Now, what I will tell you is that it's kind of there to keep people in and keep other things outside of the wall out still. That is still sort of relevant. The trouble here lies in what those other things outside of the wall that we're keeping out are. Because those other things, you remember how I mentioned Satyr makes you, you know, wander out into the woods and never be seen again? Guess where it puts you? Outside of those walls. So yeah. There's kind of some stuff going on there. Some stuff that isn't very fun. But is there a point where the player gets to go outside of the walls? I haven't decided whether or not she will necessarily go outside, but there is a way to get in and out. In Tiger's Lot, because the people there are not very well off, and many of them are very weak and feeble, there are very few guards around that are meant to, you know, like, keep the peace and stuff. So there's quite a few buildings and stuff that are in disrepair. And there is a spot in the wall that is large enough that a human, an adult human, if they aren't too large, could crawl through. So, there is definitely a chance for the main character to go outside. I just don't know if she necessarily will. But I know there are characters that do go in and out. Um, yeah. Two of those characters are dateable characters. I missed his whole other leg with the orange. I'm a buffoon. A bit of a silly goose. A silly goose? Yeah. That's me. Yeah, we had a same brain moment. I enjoy having same brain moments. They're funny. Funnily enough, how often do you get same brain moments? Oh, with certain people it happens like almost every time I interact with them, which is really funny. It's mostly like the people that I've known for like a really long time. So like my best friends, my super close friends who I've known for years, they're the ones that will just say this exact same thing at the same time, which is super funny. Cause then we just look at each other and we're like, you know? I was gonna say something before you brought that up, and I don't remember what it was now. It must have been super important. I feel like it was something about the walls. Oh yeah, I remember now. I had a funny thing planned because so you know how I said that there's this little hole in the wall that a person could crawl through if they desired. I have it kind of planned as a joke currently, but I'm genuinely considering actually putting this in the game. That the hole that is in the wall will be almost directly next to this bar in Tiger's Lot that is literally called the hole in the wall. So yeah. It would be good. I enjoy the concept of that a lot. Oh, wait. I said there were two characters that go in and out of the walls that are dateable. There's actually three of them. I completely forgot about one, which is bad. I can't believe I did that. That was bad of me. Bad Sam. Failing to remember my own characters. Alright, so that's the orange done. I am going to... That's not what I wanted. Stop freaking out. There we go. I'm renaming layers. Schmoovin' in and out of the walls? Yeah, they really are. What am I titling this layer? Orange with no A. Alright. It is big floofy jacket time. I like his large jacket. Do you have a question? What's food like? I'm guessing sparse for the lower rings and more plentiful for the higher up. Yes, exactly. Types of food will kind of be determined by like where exactly I plan on putting this. Like I said, I contemplated what used to be Chicago, so obviously a lot of those cultural dishes will still be there. So things that, are generally eaten there. But yeah, just social-wise, obviously, the higher up you are, the easier it is to get what you need when you need it. This should be below the orange layer. Chicago deep dish pizza. God. Can you imagine? That's just all they eat in this game. Only Chicago style pizza. I think I'd cry if I could only eat Chicago style pizza, because I don't like pizza sauce at all. It's the bean? Dude, the bean. I got to touch the bean because I actually just came back from Chicago. So I got to touch the bean. Imagine they find the bean and have no idea what it is. That would be interesting. It's just like a structure just somewhere out in the middle of like the bean outside the walls. It's just in the middle of nowhere. They stumble across it. They're just like, what the heck is this thing? Everybody, like, who knows what the bean is just like, dude, it's the bean. Clothing folds how I dislike you. Mostly because they're hard and I don't understand how they work. We're schmoovin'. We're schmoovin' ourselves. Dude, it's already 9:30 pretty much. That's crazy. We only have about a half an hour left of this stream. That is wild. That's a thing that shouldn't be there. There is a bug in my house. I just saw it fly by. It's a very small bug. I think it's just a gnat. But it is a bug, nonetheless. Bug wants to watch? Yeah. Friend, I let gnats watch. Gnats are nice. They don't bother me. But if it were a mosquito, I would kill it. There are like 3 insects. Bug wants to play game? Dude, I don't know how the gnat would accomplish playing a visual novel. I'm not sure how it would press the keys or anything to, like, make choices. But I believe in it. But there are 3 insects. 3 kinds of insects that I dislike. Only 2 of which I will kill. Bug can be your playtester? Tiny laptop, dude. Yes, please. but I enjoy the presence of insects. I think they're not bad. I think they're nice. I like them a lot. There are only 3 kinds that I don't like, only 2 of which will I actively murder. The first, the one that I don't like but won't kill, are like hornets and wasps, because if you kill one of those buggers, they release a pheromone that basically alerts all other hornets or wasps in the area that, hey, this guy sucks, get him. So, thank you, but I'm good. Yeah, if you kill them, you die. Just, it's the Dark Souls you died screen just immediately. The other 2, the 2 that I will kill, are, the first one should be, to absolutely no one's surprise, mosquitoes. The second, however, earwigs. Yeah, mosquitoes are just a bad bug. They're just bad. They're just mean. Okay, only like, when is God releasing the mosquito update? Can it be soon, please? I'm tired of them. I'm tired of their current mechanics, you know? They do need a revamp, you're right. Whoopsie. Wow, I was not doing very good with erasing today. It's fine. That's what this is for. I have about 19 mosquito bites on my ankles. Yeah, mosquitoes, yeah, gross. It's so bad because, like, I can go outside in, like, the spring and summer, and it'll take about 5 minutes, and I'll have about 10 mosquito bites. Mosquitoes like ankles, I guess. Oh, they just like everything. If you're me. I had, like, 3 on this one knuckle at one time. It was bad. It was awful. It was horrendous. So yeah. Mosquito hate gang. Specifically, the female mosquitoes. Because the female mosquitoes are the only ones that bite you. The males don't. They're fine. They're fine. The males are just chill. I think the males are, like, much larger as well. The only men that are actually okay. Yes. Perfect. That's a shoulder, and also bad line art. Guys, I'm bad at my job. Why is my... Hello? Sorry, my pen is deciding it doesn't want to anymore. Doesn't want to what? I don't know. It just doesn't want to. Thank you for the words of encouragement. I don't know why when I was doing this line art, I was just not good at making sure things connected. That's just a mark on my screen. Okay. That was not a thing that I had to erase. Good job, me. Professional. Yeah, line art is hard and sad. Um, it's mean. Line art is what I would consider to be a meanie. Now, don't tell Kyle I said that because I know that that word is number 10 on his list of bad words. The worst bad words to say. Oh, wait, no. I think that one's number 9. I think bad is 10. It's okay, I don't think he's in chat anymore. We're safe for another day. Yeah. Exactly. We're good for now. Yikers. Oop. I keep pressing buttons on my pen. Cause I have 2 buttons on my pen. And I keep accidentally pressing them as I hold it. Which makes things get a little funky there for a second. Cause it's like, oh, you're trying to do something with those buttons? Alright, let me just stop you from using the eraser tool real quick. Alright. Hold it better. That's a difficult proposition. Those buttons are not in an excellent spot. But at the same time they are, because if you actively want to use the buttons, then, you know, it makes sense for them to be near the top. The tip of the pen. But if you don't want to use them, then it just feels like they're in the way. It also doesn't help that my hand's getting a little sweaty, so I'm slipping a bit. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Ah! I have the wrong color selected. Alright. There is actually one more orange piece that we forgot to do, but I will do it in a second. I don't know why I said we. I guess you guys are a part of this entity that is my drawing now. Apparently we forgot to color one section of this thing orange. Aw. No memeing, apparently. You're not allowed. Is it there? I don't know. I can't tell. I'm not looking at chat from that. Oh, sweatypalms.jpg. I have to open that. Oh, it says I can't. It's not showing up for me. Unfortunately. But the link is there to the JPEG image, but it just says the site can't be reached. Okay. Now, we do one of these, so I have all my colors ready for when I inevitably start shading. And then the other orange piece that we missed. This. His little sleeve things are orange. It's not even a link, it's just a meme. Yeah, it's showing it up as a link for me. Woo! What layer is that on? Got it. One singular spot. Just like, where is it? To repair this. There we go. We have some of our colors down. Let's go. I'm gonna do shirt next. There's not a ton of shirt to color in the first place, so that's on the wrong layer. This would go underneath the jacket. Because that's how shirts work. Can you imagine if someone wore a shirt over a jacket? What would that... Why? Why would they do that? Why did I bring this up in the first place? Tried to type in chat and accidentally both paused and muted your stream instead. I have done that before. I have done it before. You hit the space bar and the M key without having to, without being chat selected. Love it. Have done that before for sure. I think it's a coming of age type thing. It has to happen at least once. To everyone. Required Twitch experience. Exactly. time consuming, but I have to go all the way back up here. That's all of the gray out of the way, I believe. I don't think there's anything else on him that's gray. Oh, the button on his pants, but you can't even see it from this angle. Not allowed. Alright, maybe it'll select the thing that I need. There we go. Now I can actually name this layer what it is. This one, I'm going to do his pants next. Give the man pants. I guess I could ask, for something like this, for, like, not, like, art stream, but, like, dating sim, if you were to play one, because I know they're not for everyone, but if you were to play one, what sorts of things would you be looking for? Because I know that'll help me get ideas for how exactly I want to execute some of the things involved. Is to hear what other people are looking for. That should be a line that goes all the way. I can fix that in a second. I'll actually fix it right now, basically. Layer 2. Oopsie. Pants. The romanceable characters all being pretty different and diverse is always cool. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to have a game where all the characters are just, like, the same. I don't think that's enjoyable for anybody. Really outrageous or random characters that you can still end up dating. If you say Don Saltine. If you say Don Saltine. Also, also getting to see the dynamics between different characters and not just the character and the main character is cool. Makes them feel more rounded. Don Saltine rounds. Romeo Juliet. You cannot touch because the sodium. Oh my god. Guys, I hope you know that you're describing the plot of the game Code Realize. The main character has poisoned skin, so none of the love interests can touch her. Cursed concept, would you like to hear it? Yes. Give me the cursed concept. Always like to hear cursed concepts. I can put them in DLC or something. Oopsie. Don Salty X-Reader. clear that one fanfiction has already proven too much for me to handle, considering I haven't updated since April. Um, but mayhaps someday in the future. You know, I'm really happy that I'm like finally like buckling down, and doing this whole dating sim thing because I've had like ideas for it for literal years, but I've just never like gotten around to doing it, which is sad because I think it's cool. I think it's neato, you know? I think part of the problem was I was always like nervous almost to like admit that I enjoyed playing dating sims. Donna has to be the hardest to date, and only those who've mastered the game can pursue the Don Saltine route. God. Good lord. Don Saltine. Heard of Don Saltine, but honestly, I'm scared. You probably should be, to be honest. But yeah, I was always like nervous to tell people that I enjoyed playing dating sims. Um, because I mean, like, it's a dating sim, and they're definitely not for everybody. But I'm happy now that I'm like actually talking about them because, it's important to just enjoy what you enjoy, and nobody can tell you not to like the things that you like. It's like, so what you have a different opinion on what video games you think are good. But, whatever. So what? It's fine. I feel like it can be seen as, more as a more cringy interest, but they're fun. They are enjoyable. They are fun. I have a lot of fun with them. Part of that stems from the fact that I am self-proclaimed bad at video games. So it's a different sort of experience for me and it's a more enjoyable experience most times for me to just be able to do something where it doesn't require skill to play the game. You can just relax, you can just have a good time and make decisions as you would. So I think that's a good part of them. I'm going to attempt to get through all of the base coloring of this, of specifically Hero. Probably won't end up touching the laptop. But you know what? It's fine. We're making good progress. It's like a choose your own adventure. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's a mistake. That's the wrong layer. Oopsie. We are grooving right now. What song is this? This is called Buffer. I enjoy this. This is a good song. Seeing lots of straggling particles and stuff that I missed initially. Oopsie. New question about game. Can be gay. I haven't really thought about that. I think I think I should definitely make it possible. I mean, then I just have to redo some of the CGs and stuff that include the main character, and switching pronouns is something that can easily be done in, like, any visual novel game ever, you know. That's never the hard part. Yeah, I think the hardest part would just be redoing some of those CGs, and I don't think it would be much of a problem at all. So I will definitely consider that, and I think it would be worth it. I do, because I think it would, you know, add to the potential audience of people. And I think it's, you know, that's another thing you don't really see enough of in, like, visual novels is more, you know, actual LGBTQ plus type available routes, you know? I have thought about the inclusion of a female character, a dateable female character, and it's Apollo's sister, Artemis. Yeah, I did that. I did that. I really said it's time to put gods in the game. Alright, that's that. I don't want to zoom out. I've been playing a really cool game lately that has a lot of queer inclusive stuff, and it's been really cool. Ooh, what game? Glove time. Like, as you play, they ask a lot about gender and sexuality and stuff, so you can really tailor your experience. Oh, nice. Oh, that is Our Life? Nice. Visual novel, Our Life, beginning and always. Yeah, I did see you playing some of that on stream. I still have to watch the VODs from the streams I missed when I was in Chicago. But I will do that. That's one thing that I was... Yes, free game. It's one thing that I was picking up when I saw you playing it, was just how easy it seemed to, like, personalize that experience. The art is pretty, and the writing is nice, and it has, like, 10 plus hours of content. That's, like, from what I saw, it's, like, really, really, really good for a free game. Which is always a pleasant surprise. Because, you know, I mean, like, I feel like when we see that something is free, going into it, you never, like, really expect a ton. Because, yeah, it's free. So, obviously, there's a limited amount of stuff you can do on a minimal budget. So, but, like, games really can go, like, super above and beyond with stuff like that. Rambling a little, but I really like this game. No, it's totally fine. I completely support your rambling. It's fine. It's good to talk about things you like, as I said previously. Because when you talk about things you like, welcome to Life Lessons with Kobe. When you talk about things you like in a public space, you do have a chance of, you know, like, finding somebody who is also interested in that thing and then making a new friend, Or finding out that someone you already knew also enjoys those similar things, but they also just didn't necessarily wish to talk about them because either, they're nervous about what people are going to say or, otherwise. But then, you can strengthen your bond with that other person as well. It is 10 o'clock currently, but I'm going to actually finish up the coloring, like just the base coloring for stuff, because we're almost done. Base coloring for Hero himself anyway. So we're going a little bit over, but it's fine. Alright. Yeah, because there's very little left that I have to do. It's just his hair, his eyes, the necklace, and the little poof ball. His eyes I could have done before, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't think about things. It's okay. Let's do hair next, and I have to pull from like over here because this goes above everything except the hat. Alright. Hair time. Hero's hair is like one of my favorites to draw of all of my characters just because it's just so fluffy and fun. I just enjoy it a lot. Gonna go through and fix just a few of these little spots that I spotted. Haha, spots that I spotted. I am so funny, you guys. I am so humorous. Looking at it from the other image, it's the hair I want when I wear a beanie. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. That's... Why is the other thing was selected, the thing that makes it so there's nothing there anymore? That's essentially an eraser, but it's part of the brush tool. I don't even know how I selected that. What shortcut key is that? I don't even know. I'm not gonna try to figure it out right now. Sounds like not the best time. Okay. Oopsie. That's not what I wanted to do. Treacherous. Good. Oh, I missed a spot. Oopsie. Oh, and I just uncovered it again because I'm great at what I do, you know? I am interested to know, what are your guys' like favorite types of video games? Like genres and stuff. Or just if you have a favorite video game in general. Like visual novels a lot. I also like Minecraft. Those are completely valid opinions. And I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Haven't really found what video games I like most yet because I've only recently started playing games that aren't Minecraft. That's fair. I mean, Minecraft's a great game, so. Really enjoy platformers and Guitar Hero. Oh yeah. Specifically Guitar Hero. Metroidvanias are fun. Yeah. I don't really know too much about like Metroidvanias or like even like the Metroid series in general. I haven't played a Metroid game, which I know is sad. But I just have never had the chance. My light just flickered. You'll love to see it. Alright. I think we're almost done with the hair. Yeah, we're almost done with the hair. Good, good. Oopsie. Plot twist, hero's about to become a Danganronpa protagonist. Because of this thing. Oopsie. They are fun. It doesn't take too much skill, especially since it's 2D. Metroid Dread is coming out in October and it looks fun. I did see the ad for Metroid Dread. The Metroid games, they always like looked fun. I just never had a chance to play them, which is sad. I do think I would enjoy the Metroid games. Okay. Just a few more things then. I like how I've titled this practically finished, this drawing of Hero. It's literally titled What Even? I might actually just end up putting this underneath the jacket layer, so I don't have to erase all of that. Shortcuts. I'm huge braining. dokie. White's easy to do. Skin layer. Add. Oopsie. Cool. Little hat floofs. Yes, indeed. I like his hat floofs. They're funny. Like I said, Hero's design I think is the one I am most proud of. The one I really just enjoy the most. I think it's a good reflection of just his personality in general. Okie dokie, and then the last part for today. His eye color and his jacket color are the same. I like to use repeating colors in things so that you don't have like too much for the eye to handle. That's why I kept his like pants and his shirt themselves more like neutral toned. And his hair, what I did, you can like kind of see it in here. I used like pinks and purples in the shading of his hair to make it fit more with just the composition of stuff. Because obviously, if he's gonna be someone you're looking at for an extended period of time, you want to try to make it pleasant on the eyes. Oh, I am on the iris layer. That's okay. They're separate things, so I can deal with that. They're not stuff that's like next to each other that would be difficult to shade on the same layer. I can just rename it. Because I don't feel like redoing this whole thing now. You know? Yeah, oopsie indeed. But it is fine. Stuff happens. Oopsie. My computer yells at me. Alrighty. Well, that's the progress. That's the progress for today. I am going to... Yeah, the computer said grr indeed. So yeah. That is going to be all the art for now. I think I'm going to continue doing art streams on Sunday. They're fun. They're relaxing. A good way to end/begin the week. Whichever one you consider to be the end of the week. Either Sunday or... I don't know. Some people start the week on Sunday, others start it on Monday. But yeah, this has been fun. Have a great rest of your evening or day or whatever, whenever you're watching this. So, bye!